I love the practical nature of weaving. You have to think about the end use. I love sitting on the sofa wrapped up under a blanket. It was a bit of a light bulb moment when I started actually weaving, and it was a discovery, like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. When I start weaving a new collection, often the idea has been sat in my brain marinating for sometimes years. My new collection at the moment is based on buildings, and every time I see a new one I look and I think, well, that colour is really interesting, that cross-section of lines is really interesting. I often immediately think of a weave structure that I think informs the pattern. I will collect fabrics that I've seen that remind me of these images that I'm looking at. I will collect found images and I will go out and I'll take photographs. I really enjoy that process. I really enjoy starting with a whole bunch of ideas and then slowly taking them out and seeing what I end up with. Once I've decided on the weave structure, I will then go back and look at the colour palettes. As part of designing any new collection, I usually have between 5 or 6 sample warps that I use to develop the idea. My sample warps tend to be small and a bit scrappy, and you don't really get a sense of the idea of how the end fabric is going to be. Each warp usually takes me about a month to design, set up and weave. I feel a real connection to our past when I'm weaving. It's an ancient craft that's thousands of years old and nothing really has changed. The basic fundamentals of the intersection of cloth is the same now as it was thousands of years ago. Because hand weaving is such a slow process, I create things in very small batches. Anything I produce hand woven, I only really make 1 or 2 of each piece at a time. Even though I do work with a producer to create some of my work, it's still very personal and I really only work with very small meterage, so there's always going to be a handmade element to my work. The sustainability of my business is something that I am constantly working on. It's something that I think about every step of the way when I'm designing. I'm thinking about ways to reduce the impact of my work on the environment. I want my fabric to evoke a real love. There are so many different uses to fabric, and they're part of our everyday lives, and it makes me really happy to be able to create something that's a part of somebody's life in that way.